Hi guys, JH6, welcome back to the channel. Glock 17, and here's my self-defense ammo. Now, what I'm going to do today is that I'm going to do a VR to the Yankee Marshal who's talking about mixing ammo. If you haven't watched the video, I'll link it down below. But I thought it was an interesting topic to talk about because a lot of people do it. Now, I got to tell you, there's a couple of things that I like, a couple of things that me specifically don't like to do. But the first thing that I would tell you about self-defense ammo is that you need to find something reliable, something dependable, something that has a good track record, something that's been around for quite some time that you know is going to work. I mean, you're going to depend your life on this thing, so you better make sure that it works. I mean, don't be going cheapo and getting something that is not going to work. Now, with that being said, the question is mixing them. You know, maybe you want to have full metal jacket, you know, then you want to have a hollow point, then you want to have something else. And my advice to that will be, don't do it. Keep it simple. You know, again, keep it simple. You started mixing ammo, you're going to get confused, you're going to forget as time passes by. I mean, it's just going to create complication. Now, some of you guys will say, well, if I do a lot of training and this and that, I'm not going to get confused. You know, if you're one of those guys that hit the range like once a week and you truly do a lot of training, a lot of practice, definitely, yeah, go ahead for it. But if you're one of the simple guys, like the bazillion guys out there that go to the range, you know, whenever they can afford it, whenever they can, you know, once a month, don't really do a lot of training and a lot of practice, you're probably going to get confused. So I would definitely recommend you not to do it. Now, I'll tell you a quick story because I like to do this. Back in 2004, we used to have a shotgun in one of our trucks during our combat deployment, and we used to mix the rounds. Now, beanbag, you know, lethal versus non-lethal, and it was always a complication. You know, at some points we had to shoot a couple of rounds in the ground just to get to the lethal round so we could use those. So again, it was always a complication. There was always a big deal, like what round is coming next. You just don't have time to think. When it comes down to self-defense, you're going to have, you know, half a second, a split of a second to make a decision and thinking about, do I have a full metal jacket versus, you know, a hollow point? It may be confusing. So to me, not saying that if you do it, it's the wrong thing. To me, I like to keep it simple. Now, with that said, I would tell you that something that I do like to do and is done in the military a lot is maybe the last 2 rounds, we used to put tracers. So again, AR-15 specifically, you may load it with 28 rounds. The first 25 rounds may have been, you know, whatever we're carrying, and the last 3 may have been tracer round. That kind of indicates that you are running out of rounds. So I like doing that. If you try and select that to the civilian life, to the civilian concealed carry, maybe having 3 rounds of full metal jacket at the end may not be a bad idea, may be a bad idea. I don't know. You tell me down in the comments. But that's something that in the past have come through my mind. And overall, I don't think it's a huge bad idea. Again, if you have to go through 14 rounds to make it to those last 3, you're probably in a lot of trouble anyway. And it's definitely a bad day for you and for whoever you're shooting at. So again, mixing rounds, I don't really recommend it. Again, I try to stay away from that, but you let me know what you think. Put comments down below. If you like this type of videos, click like, subscribe to the channel, share the videos, and God is in control.